Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sid Jones. I'm here with Raye Williams. Raye Williams, you are a Tennessee, Detroit music artist. Tell us about that a little bit.
Oh my goodness. Well, I have actually lived equal parts of my life in both Detroit and Nashville. Originally from Belleville, Michigan. Moved to Nashville at 17 years old, and I've been back in the Detroit area for about a year and a half now, and I love it. I love it. Both are so imperative to like my musical journey, 100%.
So country from Nashville, Motown from Detroit. Am I right on that?
Absolutely. Like I get all my guts and grits from Detroit for sure. And I just kind of get my songwriting and business sensibility from Nashville. So it's kind of the best of both worlds.
What inspired your music, I gotta ask?
So actually my grandparents who live in Romulus, Michigan, they are from the South. So Barbersville, Kentucky and Hohenwald, Tennessee. And I grew up on country music from like the get-go. So by the time I was like 2 years old, I was singing George Jones, I was singing Loretta Lynn. So it's a very unconventional thing considering I was only 15 miles outside of Detroit. But, you know, country music was always my first passion. And then as I got older, I really gained an appreciation for Motown and the soul and the rich musical history of Detroit. So, you know, like I said, it's 100% the best of both worlds.
So we got Dolly Parton with like Motown rage type feel to it, right? Yeah,
well what I like to say is I'm a cross between Reba and Aretha. So I mean I have the big red hair, so I mean I'm at least a step in that direction.
I agree, and I can actually hear like a little bit of that southern accent too.
Oh, 100%. So my grandma, she turns 92 years old this year, and she's like the love of my life and my inspiration always, and has the thickest southern accent, even though she's been in Detroit area for 60 plus years now. And so like I said, that's where I get all my hillbilly. So I always say I'm a little hood, I'm a little hillbilly.
I like that. So tell us a little bit about this music you've got coming out.
Yeah, so I just released a single called Suicidal Heart, and we actually released two versions. There was a Detroit version and a Nashville version. So the Detroit version had the big soulful background singers, the Motor City horns are on there, so it's really funky. And then I had this idea in January to like retrack it in Nashville, and so all of these really funky horn parts we did with an acoustic guitar, and we just kind of countrified it. So I released two versions of the same song, and it's really worked. I mean, it's kind of been like a platform for my story. Like I said, I feel like I'm never one without the other. I'm not 100% soul blues, I'm not 100% country, I'm somewhere in between. And it's really worked because people are really trying to A and B, you know, hear the difference between the two things. And in just like 3 or 4 weeks, I mean, we've just surpassed 20,000 streams on Spotify. So, I mean, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we shot a music video on the country version, and that's got like 10,000 views already. And we're doing well. Like, I really feel like it's so important to just show that as a songwriter, as a singer, there are just so many different interpretations of what you do. And so the next single, the next couple singles that we do, we're gonna do the same thing where we have two different versions, a Detroit version, a Nashville version, and just kind of build that story, build that platform more. And I'm excited. I mean, it's a daunting task for sure, but
I was kind of thinking that because I know artists will release like 6 different versions with like only a bonus track and a couple of like remixes, but to do completely 2 different albums blows my mind. So with this music and this way that you decided to do it, have you decided that your next projects are going to constantly be that way, or are you going to do like a one album where it's like a mix of both?
I think that eventually you kind of merge those sounds. So like if I could compare myself to anybody, it would be more of a Bonnie Raitt, Wynonna Judd type, like just like a soulful guitar heavy thing. But yeah, I mean, at least the next 3 singles, we definitely want to do the 2 different versions because, you know, I've kind of been out of the music scene as an artist, as like the spotlight artist for a while. I started doing this when I was 12. I moved to Nashville at 17. I had management, I was staff songwriter, I was on tour, I released independent albums, and then I kind of just, you know, just kind of faded into, I kind of faded into more of like the demo singing, the session singing, the background singing. I sang on tour with a lot of big artists as a background singer. So to kind of come back out and to be so well accepted here in Detroit is such a dream come true. And like I said though, like I can't say that I'm 1000% Detroit because I lived half of my life in Nashville. So while I have the energy to do 2 versions, like we're gonna do that, but I think that eventually it molds itself into kind of like a Motown bluesy country thing, because at the end of the day I am a songwriter and I just happen to be really fortunate to be able to sing well.
Well, I'm fortunate to have you here with me. Where can we find you on social media?
Yeah, so RayeWilliams.com, R-A-Y-E Williams.com, and so all of the socials are on there. And yeah, I mean, I'm really good about updating my website, and I find like really old YouTube videos from like 10 years ago that I like to spotlight once a week, because I just think it's really hilarious how an ugly duckling turns into a swan.
and like how like the evolution of your music has like progressed.
I never thought we'd be where we're at right now. The fact that I wrote a song in Nashville with Nashville songwriters, the band leader for Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band, he was my producer. We recorded this whole like Motown inspired album of singer-songwriter demos that I had done, work tapes, whatever. And I just told them, hey, let's take this in like a Motown Marvin Gaye direction. We ended up writing this song called Sing Me Home, and I just told him, hey, I feel like Detroit would really grasp onto this, even though I don't live there. I was living full-time in Nashville at the time, and little did I know that I'd be foreshadowing like my return back to Detroit. And the fact that that was my first single, and it's my first Detroit Music Award nomination ever. So we're up for Detroit Country Recording of the Year. Yeah.
That's excellent. I'm really happy. I'm really proud of you for that.
I appreciate it. It's crazy how everything goes full circle, you know? I never thought I would be coming back from Nashville to Detroit, but in all honesty, it was the best thing for my professional career, for my personal life, everything. So I'm super happy to be here.
I'm happy that you're here, and like, and I gotta say, like, you know, knowing your music and everything that you've done with it from Nashville to Detroit, I'm gonna tamper with this, I'm gonna mix with that. I feel like artists need to do more of that. You know, you've got too many artists that are focused in their backyards, that are like, I'm gonna never ever leave my hometown, and you've got 2 hometowns. Detroit loves you, Nashville loves you, we love you at RoX-TV. Do you have any shout outs you'd like to give?
Oh man, well, I mean, I'd like to give a shout out to my parents and my grandma, who is very bitter about the fact that the Detroit Music Awards were not going to be aired on TV. And just some of my friends in Nashville, Tennessee, Susan and Kim and Whitney, and you know, it takes a village, and I didn't get here on my own, but I'm so grateful. Like I said, Detroit and Nashville, I'm not one without the other at all, and so I'm so grateful for the opportunity to show that with my singles and with my releases and with my stories. So to be here at the Detroit Music Awards with a song that I wrote and recorded in Nashville about Detroit is just ironic in the most beautiful way.
I'm glad that you've been nominated. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sid Jones, Detroit Music Awards 2019. Stay tuned. We got more coming for you.